me, Jennifer. I'm back for another Style Fix video this week, and I wanted to talk about people who inspire me. I wanted to talk about people who inspire me specifically when it comes to fashion and dressing. I think that I've kind of always known this about myself, but it really just dawned on me recently why. And I feel like I get really inspired by women who are truly themselves, who are authentically themselves when it comes to their style and their creativity. And I think that as easy as that sounds to be, it sometimes can be a little bit hard because we grew up with wanting so much to fit in. And so when you experiment a little bit or try to be authentically who you are when you're getting dressed, it's not as easy as it sounds. And I think it's really important to be authentically yourself when you express yourself creatively. And so sometimes I spend a little bit of time on Pinterest. You know how much I love Pinterest, getting inspired by women who are completely authentically themselves, just to remind myself that, you know, it's not always about if an outfit actually looks quote unquote good in terms of what are the expectations from society, but if an outfit looks good for you and feels good for you. And so today I want to share with you a few women that I go to get inspired by their outfits. Some of these things are pieces that I would never put together myself, but I love what they do. It gets me inspired. It gets me taking risks. And so I thought I'd talk about this today in this week's Style Fix video in hopes of inspiring you too. Okay, so the first person on my list is a stylist. I think she's based in LA or New York. I'm not exactly sure. And her name is Rachel Wang. I love her style of dressing. I find it's always a little bit unexpected. I find she has sort of a bit of a romantic feel about how she puts things together. It's sort of poetic, if I can say. She takes a lot of risks. It can be a very sort of clean style of silhouette or a little bit messier in a way, but there's a bit of a, I think when I say poetic, I mean there's a bit of a boho vibe about her that I really, really love. She plays with proportion a lot, and that I really appreciate. And I just feel like she mixes high-end pieces with vintage pieces and does it in such a seamless kind of way that makes me feel like anything is possible. Okay, next up we have Gabriella Karifa Johnson. I use her photos a lot in the Style Fix videos because she is a ton of fun. She's always got a huge smile on her face. She is totally unapologetic with how she puts things together, which I love. And she's really quite daring. She is a fashion editor and a stylist, according to her Instagram page, because I actually don't really know much about her. I just find that she's always catching my eye, and I love her playfulness about fashion. And like I said, she's always got a huge smile on her face. She looks like she's having fun. She mixes print with print. She mixes high end with low end. Again, she does things that I don't think I would ever even dare to do or think about doing in terms of color combinations, in terms of print combinations, in terms of also not having a traditional kind of body type and what she wears. I just love her. I think she's tons of fun and she's totally inspiring. She really makes me feel like you can kind of do anything you want. All right, next up we have somebody else that I often use in the videos, and that's Blanca Mero. She's Spanish. She's a big influencer. She's also a designer. She started a company called Les Vestes, I believe. And she's also got a boho chicness about her. She puts outfits together, again, I would never think of doing. I kind of get fascinated when I look at her style because it's almost like she sort of steps back in time. I follow her also on Instagram, and you can tell from her Instagram handle that she loves England and Scotland and gets very inspired by that kind of dressing, which I really appreciate. And she kind of goes full force when she is in Scotland, for instance. She'll really do an outfit inspired by the countryside and that old world British kind of style. And I really appreciate that. And I love that she pulls it off without making it look like she's wearing a costume. She was on Vogue's best dressed list of people who go to all the fashion shows during Fashion Week in Paris. And they said something like this, I'm paraphrasing, but something like, no matter what designer she's wearing, she always makes it look like her own style. And that, I have to admit, I really, really appreciate. So next up is somebody else I've used a lot as an example in my YouTube videos, and that is Tamu Ferguson. She is a fashion creative. I believe she's also a photographer, and I think she's based in Milan. I find her very interesting. I like how she plays with really basic pieces and mixes it with something that's really unexpected. I feel like she has a beautiful color sense. She also plays with volume in a really interesting kind of way that I really appreciate. She takes very simple kind of classic pieces and makes them exciting in a way that I can't quite put my finger on, but I really appreciate it because I feel like I have a similar kind of aesthetic, a very kind of classic, but kind of want to put a twist on it. She does a monochromatic really well, so you know how much I love that. And she's somebody to me that I think really loves accessories. She always has some kind of great accessory, whether it's a hat or a fantastic shoe. And of course, I totally admire that and find it really fun. And then finally, we have a fashion stylist based out of LA named Anina Mistlin. Another one, again, I've used a lot when it comes to my YouTube videos in terms of an example. And I love her style. I love her sensibility. I had no idea that she was based in LA. To me, she looks very French because somebody else who does that really classic, basic pieces, but makes them really interesting by adding in a really fun shoe or perhaps the way she styles her hair. For me, this is the one that I probably can relate to the very most because it is a little bit more of a classic styling, but with a twist, which I really like, a kind of unexpected twist. Maybe it's a really big oversized jean, or there's a big cuff on the jean, or there's a coat that you wouldn't necessarily think goes with that outfit, and then she makes it work really, really well. I find her style of dressing to me feels very accessible, and I find it as inspiring as somebody like Blanca, for instance, but in a very different kind of way. For me, these are outfits that are perhaps a little bit easier to emulate somehow, just because it feels more in my wheelhouse. So that's basically it. These are the women that have really been inspiring me lately. You might remember I've done a video like this in the past of women who I find really inspiring. This is kind of like part 2 to that video, basically. I hope this video leaves you feeling inspired or leaves you thinking about really what is your authentic style. Just want to quickly say that I hope to see all of you Montrealers next Thursday, May 29th. I made a mistake on my newsletter. It's actually the 29th, Thursday, 5 to 7 here at my house. It's going to be a lot of fun, as always. If you'd like to see a little bit more of a deep dive into this subject, then you can check out my Substack account. And if you like this video, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. You know I love hearing from you. Let me know if there's anybody that you think I should know about that really gets you inspired. And of course, for more style ideas, more inspiration, or just simply to see what I'm doing, don't forget to follow me on Facebook and on Instagram.